It's easy to think the world's next great tech companies will come from Silicon Valley, New York, or Toronto. But innovators from around the world beg to differ, and I'm out to discover who they are and where they're from. From Addis to Jakarta, from Dhaka to Bogota, I'm Dan Herman, and this is their world, our future. A decade ago, Tunisia was probably best known for its beautiful beaches and for having hosted part of the filming of Star Wars. That all changed in 2011 when millions hit the streets protesting for political change and better opportunities. A decade later, admittedly, progress has been slow, but entrepreneurs like Safwen Bouali are part of a new generation of Tunisians who are building world-class technologies and aiming for global markets.
Hey, good morning. I learned about Onboard, I think just by chance as I was doing some research about technology in Tunisia, and I thought, my goodness, what a logical solution to a problem that everyone has around the world.
Initially, we started this company, me and my two co-founders, as this platform that will enable everyone to transition from a 2D screen to a 3D screen. So that was initially the vision. And then we looked at the current state of these 3D computing devices, like I will give the examples of the HTC Vive or the Oculus, or even especially the Microsoft HoloLens. And then we found out that it is not really adapted to the market. It is not adapted to what a consumer can buy. We're talking about a device that is about $3,500 worth US dollars. So an average consumer won't have access to that. What we do have access to is our smartphones. And it made so much sense to build something that is truly natural, truly human to manipulate, to communicate with. And that is just a 3D viewport on a screen. So any gamer would know this. Any person that has played a game before knows that manipulating a 3D on a screen is so natural, so effortless. So it didn't make sense that no one has built this solution for this problem, and then like, what the hell? Let's go there and build it.
You know, every time you've tried to build something, whether you buy furniture, I buy toys for my kids, and you look at the instructions and you try to figure out what do they mean when they show me this 2D flat image? What does that mean? So your solution actually brings that to life and actually shows me it's such an intuitively obvious solution, but evidently I think you're the first to do it.
Yeah, and that actually communicates to our mission as a company, which is to enable creators and their users to communicate humanly. So it's enabling them to communicate in a very natural manner. That's basically it. And then, like, there's no other way for the user to really understand the message from whomever they bought a product from, unless they see it and manipulate it in 3D. Hopefully, in the future, we'll be seeing those on glasses where we manipulate them by hand. We're not there yet, so let's just do it on our phones.
Totally. Now, the market for this, I assume, is not just a local market in Tunisia. It's not a regional market. Are you aiming for the world with this?
So what happened is that in order to validate the concept and know what these companies need in terms of manuals, we had to start with the business end of it, like for companies that serve manuals to other businesses. So that being in the industrial sector, in the automotive sector, and other sectors. And then we discovered that many of the companies that were present in our country were headquartered in Paris, and made so much sense for us to go there and do customer discovery there. Currently, we are at Station F in Paris too. So we are very happy to be from the fewest companies, Tunisian companies and North African and even African companies to be featured in the biggest startup campus in the world. And yeah, actually, it is a very global problem and a very big one. And we're starting with the B2B part of it with some very various use cases in the consumer sector. And I think our vision is to have this product for everyone whenever they look for a manual, being on a factory floor or a home appliance or an IKEA furniture notice. everything. That's the global vision.
Oh, totally. And that's, like the plus side or one of the side benefits of your product is you're going to save marriages all over the world from, frustrated husbands and wives who look at each other and say, why can't you build this? It looks so simple on paper.
Yeah, it always looks so simple, but here's an interesting fact. It's a very old poll, but it delivers the idea. They discovered that up to 90% of returned products that are labeled as broken are not actually broken. It's just people didn't get them. So there's a really big communication gap between everyone that manufactures something, that being a software or a hardware solution, and gives it to someone else. That's pure human nature. It's like technical people giving a solution to people who are not technical and expecting them to have the same knowledge, which doesn't make sense.
So now you're in Tunis, and I was lucky enough to spend some time in Tunis many years ago on my honeymoon, and absolutely loved it and traveled around the country. But it's not a place I would think of when I'm thinking of where is the next unicorn company going to come from. Tell me, like, what's going on in Tunis with respect to startups and innovation?
What happened after 2011 and the revolution is that so many people from the diaspora came back to our country that were working in corporations, mid-level management, big upper management, and they came back and they wanted to start something, and that was one of the ignition events that led so many investors and local entrepreneurs and local business angels to invest in this nascent, this new entrepreneurial ecosystem. So yeah, it is a collective effort and also a government effort in a sense. From also the civil society creating the first African framework for startups, which is Startup. And personally, it is extremely beneficial to the Tunisian ecosystem. And as you can see, it is developing thanks to all of these efforts.
If I remember Tunis correctly, I can look across the water this way and see Italy. I look across this way, I see France. You feel that you have all the assets, the resources in Tunis to build the company as opposed to moving it elsewhere?
Actually, it is a very, very good place to start a company, and it is so easy to start a company here. It is a good place to validate the market and to understand what are the intricacies of launching a company and what's difficult and what's not. And then scaling the company is a whole other ball game. That's a problem everyone will go through at being scaling in terms of market or in terms of geography. That's every entrepreneur that is scaling a company will have these same problems. But I think Tunis is very well suited as a place where companies are launched. What do a company need to have to evolve? Good internet, good talent, great minds, and all exists here.
It's incredible. And, the story of Tunisia after 2011, it's the home of the Arab Spring, really, at that time. That's where it began. And, as I look at it as an outsider, reading what the economy was and what opportunity was for young Tunisians, I now look at companies like yours and think or wonder, is this startup ecosystem, does this give hope to young Tunisians that was missing at the time of the revolution?
I think it is the perspective of many young people is shifting. There is opportunity here eventually, and it's just about having the will to start. Now, also there's some second part to this, which is the responsibility of the current entrepreneurs, which is advocating for their stories and their stories actually, and also creating success stories to follow after, and that is something that is in the process, in the making.
So look, Tunis might not be the next Silicon Valley. It's still a very challenging place for many who live there. But when you have thousands of engineering graduates who speak 4 languages, and I mean it, 4, if you count Arabic, French, English, and engineering, well then it's definitely a place that has a specific advantage in today's economy. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. I'm Dan Herman, and this is Their World, Our Future.